Welcome into First News on 570, a special edition this morning as we continue our coverage of the London terror attacks. We want to take a different angle on this now, and it's hard to explain to our kids something that we can hardly grasp ourselves between TV and web and social media and radio. It's kind of hard to shield your kids from what's going on out there when it comes to world events, especially things like terrorism. And we're happy to have with us today parenting expert Maria Luce. She started the Empowered Mom to create conversations and give parents more tools to deal with the challenges of life. And Maria, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. How do we talk to our kids about this to make sure that we're not, giving them some sort of a complex or making sure that they're not seeing or hearing too much?
That's okay.
How do we talk to our kids about this, to make sure that they kind of understand that just because this stuff is happening, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's happening here?
Right, but you can't, first of all, let's start with age appropriateness.
Right.
Okay, because what you're going to say to a 7-year-old versus a 14-year-old or 17-year-old, it's completely different, right? But I think you have to acknowledge what is happening. And first of all, I think in the case of the Ariana Grande scenario, it's tough for kids, especially seeing the images of themselves in those kids and identifying with the artist. And so one of the big things you want to do is validate their worries and concerns. So I understand that, you really can't say, don't be worried, it won't happen here.
Right.
Because you really don't know that.
Right.
And you don't want to lie because they'll see right through it. They're coming to you for comfort and reassurance, and you can talk to them about, okay, well, what's our safety plan? What are the things we can do? What are we, facing, and how would we handle it? And reassure them with facts because here's what's happening. I can tell you the day after when the Ariana Grande story broke, one of my sons was home from school sick, and I went to him to go talk to him, and I said, hey, babe, I want to talk to you about something. And he was like, oh, I already know. So if your child, now he's 14, but if your child has a screen at all in front of them, and find out what they know. Because I said, well, where did you find out about it? Snapchat.
Yeah. I would imagine that's probably a pretty popular answer among teens.
Exactly. And so you want to know what they know so that you can reassure them with facts because guess what? You don't know if the story and the facts that they're getting are correct.
Right.
So you want to find out what they know so you can reassure them with, okay, well, that's not necessarily true. And you want them to come to you.
Yeah, and especially with social media and the fact that, we know there are just so many things that get pushed onto social media that are so factually incorrect. A young kid looking at something like that could really turn them in a bad direction for sure.
It can turn them in a bad direction, and it can misinform them.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. So you take the time to talk to your children, and then, frankly, to be honest with you, check in with yourself and your own worries. Because what you may not know is, if you're not processing it, then if we can't process it or are having a hard time processing it, as we all are, just this rampage on innocence and innocent people. So think about what they're dealing with. Yeah. And then, frankly, to be honest with you, at a certain point, you may have to limit or monitor or completely get rid of screens for a little while.
Right. If
you're seeing them being completely overwhelmed with it.
Yeah. And listen, I know plenty of adults who are completely overwhelmed with it. So when you think about, how a teen or a child is going to react, it's just that much more significant for sure. Maria Luce, thank you so much for your time this morning. We certainly appreciate it. And we will absolutely be reaching out to you again. Hopefully, though, not necessarily to talk about things of this nature. Hopefully we can have a more positive conversation next time.
I love being with you. You have a fantastic and empowered day.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.